28 days into my federal prison sentence, I had my first team meeting. And a team meeting in federal prison is a big deal because it's a chance to interact with staff, to get an idea of your release date, how much halfway house time are you going to get. It turned out to be much ado about nothing. It was like a 5-minute meeting. But in that meeting, my case manager at the time, Miss Mickleberry, asked me, so what are you hoping to accomplish while you're here? And I said, well, I just don't want this experience to define the rest of my life. I don't want to serve one day longer than the 18 months the government already got. And that statement I've said now many times throughout the last 13 years, and it leads to why I'm filming this video today. In a few minutes, I'm going to drive to the courthouse in Santa Ana. I'm going to document the process of my good friend, client, Hugo Mejia, who's about to get sentenced, most likely to prison, for a cryptocurrency fraud. And when Hugo called our team last fall, and in that first conversation, I said to Hugo, what compelled you to reach out? Was it something specific Michael Santos said, or I said, what was it? And he said, you know, Justin, I'm going to prison. I made bad decisions, but you said something in a video that stuck with me, which is, I don't want this experience to define the rest of my life. Whatever prison term I get, I don't want it to be one day longer. And to his credit, he's worked his ass off. He's done the work, the narrative, the letters, going in front of Judge Carney here soon. I admire him a great deal, so I'm going to document it. The government's expecting or asking for 46 months. Of course, we're going to try to do better. We'll see. I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm at the courthouse getting ready to meet Hugo, about an hour away from the sentencing. Quickly for some background, this is a very complex cryptocurrency case. So many of these investigations are coming. It's truly overwhelming. Hugo initially retained, am I looking in the right spot? Hugo initially retained a lawyer he thought was an expert in cryptocurrency. And as we're learning, just because someone says they're an expert in cryptocurrency law, doesn't actually mean they're an expert in cryptocurrency law. Hugo, because he knows more about cryptocurrency than anyone I've ever known. Think of Frank Abagnale from Catch Me If You Can. He got out of prison early and helped banks understand fraud and how people commit check fraud and all that good stuff. That's literally the knowledge that Hugo has about cryptocurrency. It's why I think he'll build a huge business helping companies, government understand cryptocurrency, how people can get into trouble for cryptocurrency transactions. All of that is coming for him. But back to hiring a lawyer, hired the wrong lawyer, made the right decision, and actually going with a federal public defender, many of whom are capable and smart, and recognize that no lawyer is going to know as much about cryptocurrency as him. And rather than educate a lawyer, he's going to use his resources to mitigate and try to demonstrate what he's learned and why. So I'm going to meet him here at this Starbucks by the courthouse here in Santa Ana as we inch closer towards sentencing. Okay, everyone, about 30 minutes away from sentencing, I'm here with Hugo. Hugo, offer some thoughts on how you're feeling as about to get sentenced.
Like I told Justin before, I'm a lot more relaxed than I thought it would be. This is still somewhat surreal to me. And I'm not exactly excited about the prospect of what's about to happen. But at the same time, I'm actually feeling kind of calm, knowing that it's finally coming to an end and feeling really good about my prospects.
When we started working together last year, you mentioned something like, I don't want the government to get one day longer. I don't want this experience to define my life. So talk about being proactive during this last year, working to build a business in the cryptocurrency space, to educate people on how many government investigations are going to be coming due to crypto. Just talk about, because waiting is the hardest part we talk a lot about. Talk to us about your productivity.
One of my reasons I didn't want to really try and fight this as much as I potentially could have, because I've gotten a lot of feelings from Justin's video and his opinion that it'll just feel like I'm in prison anyway for the next 3 or 4 years if I continue to try and fight something that frankly I can just want to just focus on just moving on with my life. After the incident happened to me and the feds, gave me a target letter, I moved on and I realized I spent a couple of weeks feeling sorry for myself like that. But then you know what? I don't know what awoke in me. I got off my butt. I started a business. I started to basically use my education and my crypto experience and try and get into the whole crypto e-commerce aspect of everything else. I have a business. It's a wholesale jewelry business, but we're trying to implement crypto into it. And in the last year, so many things have happened and changed with crypto that it's really been exciting. I really feel that based on the new legislature that's coming down in the government, that Justin's going to see a lot more clients that are going to be involved in crypto, unfortunately on the wrong side of the law, whether it's through ignorance or just through not knowing what's going on. So I really want to try and focus on maybe helping people or educating them onto what to look for, to how to handle crypto so it's safe and that they don't get in kind of a situation like the one that I'm similarly in right now.
As we head into sentencing, I frequently say a lot of people talk about doing the work and know what to do. They're not everyone actually does the work. To Hugo's credit, regardless of if he gets 46 months, which is the government wants, higher or lower, he's invested the time, he's done the work, and it's part of the reason if he goes to prison, it will be productive, and our team will be here to help. So we're going to report back. I guess we're going to head upstairs right now and get ready to get sentenced.
Okay. Thank you so much.
We'll be back in a little bit.
Right.
Okay, we're about to go in. I was nearly arrested for not having my mask on. Quick update to the mitigation. Hugo has a personal narrative, 9 character reference letters, because our team has gone in front of Judge Carney before, and we believe fewer letters is better, with better quality than necessarily quantity. His statement he'll make is a page or less. His lawyer knows to ask for a specific prison based on the length of the sentence and any recommendations. Also, if he's sentenced to prison, which is likely because the guidelines are 46 to 57 months and they're asking for 46, he will ask for at least 2 months to surrender, but of course he can always go in early. We're heading in back after sentencing. Well, that's it. Sentencing is over. For a quick recap, the judge opened up by asking Hugo if he had read the PSR. I think you said you had.
Yes.
He went through the various 3553 sentencing factors, reiterated the sentencing guidelines were 57 to 71 months, then spoke at length about Hugo's acceptance of responsibility, early acceptance of responsibility, acknowledged the government was asking for 46 months, which was a departure from the 57 to 71. And with that said, I'll turn it over to Hugo. What's the sentence and how are you feeling?
Well, I felt a little bit relieved now that it's over, but unfortunately, the judge sentenced me to 36 months. My attorney was hoping for less. He did a really good job at basically pleading our case in regards to the mitigating factors. But at the same time, there is good news. He did follow up with the recommendation of the judge, and the judge did recommend the facilities and the RDAP program that we were hoping for. So that should, if everything goes well, significantly reduce my time in custody, so to speak.
I'd also like to get on the record, I think the U.S. attorney, you get a sense in a sentencing hearing of how aggressive or how aggressively the government really justifies a prison term. So while they mentioned 46 months, the U.S. attorney spoke quickly to your acceptance of responsibility, your narrative, your letters, and felt that you were genuinely remorseful. Do you think that was impactful to the judge?
I think so too, because as kind as the government can be, I think the attorney was trying to basically convey that on many occasions, at least 3 occasions, he pointed out to the judge that they actually believe that I'm genuine, that I'm not trying to bring any falsehoods to the court, and that I'm really remorseful for what I did. So I think, as strange as it might sound, the government did everything in their power to mitigate my case for whatever they could. They had to stick with the guns on the lower end of 46. And looking it over now, although I was hoping for 24, I think 36 is a very good outcome for me.
Last question. You said a second ago before we started filming that you feel better having clarity. Talk about the feeling of clarity and preparing for the next phase.
Well, the feeling of clarity is great because now you actually have a plan. You can mitigate, you can actually think of a plan in your head and actually put it into use. The judge extended me not just 60 days, but 90 days to turn myself in. That gives me an extra time to take care of some of my medical needs, get all my affairs in order. If I want to continue with my business, there'll give me plenty of time to put that in, make it a turnkey situation for my employees. So that kind of time just puts my mind right now is what I'm going to do from this day forward every single day to make sure everything's good to go. So when I do have to turn myself in, I don't have to feel like I'm losing control. Yeah.
I'll close with how I opened my first call with Hugo.
Later.
Take care, bud.
Okay, bye-bye.
My first call with Hugo, he mentioned he didn't want this to define his life. He didn't want to get 1 day longer than the sentence would be. He's worked incredibly hard to prepare. Our team will continue to stand alongside him as he prepares for prison and the exciting part, coming home ready to rebuild and grow. So thank you so much for letting our team join you. It's a privilege to know you and call you a friend.
Absolutely, Justin. Thank you.
My pleasure, bud.